common reason why circuits are often not equivalent to the computation that they're meant to certify is because they are under constraint. So what do I mean by a circuit being under constraint? Well, it basically means that for the same input x, you can find two distinct outputs y and y prime, such that c of xy and c of xy prime both evaluate to true. Right, so basically it's saying for the same inputs, it evaluates to true for two distinct outputs. Now before we continue, let's pause here a second and think about why if a circuit is under constraint, that's likely to be a bug. So recall our definition of equivalence, right? So remember that equivalence says C should evaluate to true, C of xy should evaluate to true if and only if P of x is equal to y. And this computation P that we're interested in is typically some deterministic computation. So basically, that means on a given input x, P can only produce a single y. It shouldn't produce two distinct outputs, y and y prime. But if the circuit is under constraint, we know that C of xy evaluates to true for two different values of y. So therefore, if it's under constraint and assuming that P is a deterministic piece of computation, if a circuit is under constraint, it cannot be equivalent to whatever computation it's trying to certify. So the moral of the story for us is that if a circuit is under constraint, that means it cannot satisfy any equivalence for any deterministic computation. So if we detect that the circuit is under constraint, then there's very likely to be a problem in your circuit.